This is Lee Roberts. I am a history teacher at Hatton High School, and we, as a school, we are trying to improve our science application ability by developing better curriculum to match the um, CCRS standards. And this is something that I've been a part of since the beginning of the school year, as I have been a member of the PST team and CIP team and various other acronyms. Um, we want to go from more of a book and lecture style to more of a CCRS centered, which is college and career readiness standard centered. We want to get away from the definitions and the book work and um, and the worksheets, things like that. We want to go to more of um, a um, lab centered uh, science classroom. Engagement. We're going to start with the administration. Administration looks at the data on hand and looks at what we need for the future. So we looks at different data that we already have. The CCRS standards, look at those and find what's important and what we need to cover there. We look at the ACT and the ACT Aspire. ACT being we give it every year to the 11th graders, and the Aspire we give it to the 7th, 8th, and 10th graders. We really want to improve those scores, especially on the science portion of those. Um, and Next, we want the science achievement on the Scantron Performance Series. That's the data we really want to look at. So we can look at all this data before. The only issue is that in the Scantron Performance Series, we're hoping to get it in the future because as of right now, we don't. We only have the algebra and the reading. Um, and I had found this out when we started talking about things that we wanted to just ways to look at this to see improvement and the Scantron Performance Series was one that I had came up with, but our system does not currently use it for the science achievement portion. Um, Teachers, they had to find time for professional development. This is through AMSTI, the Alabama Math and Science and Technology Initiative. Um, they had to be able to plan and make this new curriculum happen and find time to do this professional development. They had to find space because it's a lot of hands-on stuff, a lot of stuff that goes on in the classroom that has to be done hands-on in the classroom. So we have to find space to store this stuff and space to actually to do the lab assignments if the lab is not necessarily open. And then the students, we started in the summer. We started talking about it in the summer, but the students have to be cognizant of what is expected of them. They have to be told as soon as they get there, this is the way we're doing it, and this is the way it's got to be. Um, but it gives them a real, um, they feel like they're more involved, they're more hands on, that you get better, more out of them, it seems like to me, from what I've seen. Um, Next is design. The first design we used was the professional development, and of course that started out with AMSTI. Um, AMSTI gave these wonderful kits to all these teachers that went, um, and we had a few teachers go. We really focused on the middle school levels mostly, but anybody that's dealt with this before knows that AMSTI training can be 5 days. It can be 7 days. It's a lot of time during the summer that has to be devoted to this AMSTI training, and plus there's more follow up stuff that goes along with it. Also, we used our local half day PD to focus our on the way we set up classrooms, scheduling the labs uh, for use, and how to really store this stuff and figuring out how to work all this. Um, Budget, we were lucky enough to have a agreement with AMSTI, and the school system was able to fund this through this partnership we have with AMSTI, and we really focused on the middle school portion of it, which gave us a little bit of leeway. And we had to figure out the best place to put teachers. We had an issue with that, which I'll get to later, uh, and how and why it's important to place teachers in certain places in classrooms, certain classrooms. Development teacher kits. These kits that they were given from this AMSTI training, filled with stuff to do all this labs. It's kind of just it's all there. You just gotta have the time to do it. Had to figure out where and how to store the stuff, how to plan the lessons, how to and all this stuff has to do with the PD that we put in place. Um, Issues with location. We had a teacher whose classroom was not big enough to facilitate all these kits and all these labs because there's a lot of congestion in the lab, which I'll talk about in a minute. Uh, so we had to find a way to get all this stuff taken care of, store all these kits. So we actually moved him to the home economics room. We have lost some units a few years ago and got rid of the home economics department completely. And he was able to move into that room, and with the cabinet space, he has plenty of room to store all of his equipment and plenty of big tables where he can do these labs. And we have planning issues with teachers and administrators. The administrators had some troubles with the science lab congestion. We had a lot of people wanting to, when we started doing this, a lot of people wanted to get in there and do their labs, and they had to find ways for certain people to get in there when they could, and then if they couldn't get in there, then use their classroom, find the best way to use their classroom. The teachers had to find a way to find more time to plan, had to add more planning time. Analyzation. Um, the admins would do walkthroughs periodically, just walk through and see what was going on, to catch any glitches in the way we were doing it, and see if there's anything that we needed to fix that we could fix on the fly. And every 9 weeks we would do an observation. This would be in like Elliott type, where it would be based on what the students, if they were engaged and if they were learning, which was really good for the teachers because the Elliott was focused on the students, and all they had to do was make sure that they were doing what they had been trained to do. And we got feedback from the administrator to the teacher. The teacher would give feedback to the administrator, and then the students would give feedback to both. So there was a lot of feedback, and it was very important for all these people to be talking and gaining feedback from that. Evaluation. We hope to get the performance series in the future, like I'd already talked about. ACT, we gave the ACT to the juniors on the 19th. So that's something we're going to wait for the scores to come back and see our improvement. ACT Aspire, 7th, 8th, and 10th graders, that will begin on Monday, the 24th. So we're looking for improvement there as well. Hopefully that we'll be able to see that pretty easily. And we want to have teachers and administrators both evaluate what they've been doing and get some feedback on that. In conclusion, we're looking for better student achievement in science. And how we're going to do that is focusing on the CCRS standards and looking at a more hands-on approach. We're looking for higher ACT scores. And hopefully focusing on science will allow us to do that. Greater ability to meet CCRS standards. We're looking for the importance of these standards to making people not only college ready but career ready. And we want to create more well-rounded students. So, better student achievement, higher ACT Aspire scores, getting people ready for college and career, and creating more well-rounded students, just to be better individuals in everyday life. So that is how we are doing our science assessment. My screencast gives me 10 minutes maximum on the free version. So it will cut me off here shortly. So I kind of rushed through things because I didn't want to go over and miss some things. So I appreciate the time.